Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question. We have a question that was emailed to us, fred@planttalkradio.com, by Mark. And Mark says, I was wondering if you have any tips for an indoor plant that might be suffering from root rot. Now, he says it's a small Chinese elm bonsai that he got about a month and a half ago, and he says it dropped quite a bit of the leaves. They turned yellow first. He thinks maybe it was an overwatering situation. Mm-hmm. He says when he took a look at the roots, though, there was some spider web looking stuff in the roots, is the way he puts it. So he cleaned off the stuff, clipped back some of the chunkier roots, as he says, to try to encourage new feeder roots, and replanted it. What do you think about what do you think the diagnosis is and his treatment of it?
Well, his treatment seems to be okay. Let me go backwards to the fact that somebody was growing that elm tree bonsai indoors, and it was coming on with leaves and things way ahead of its natural time to leaf out. So let's just say then that it was leafed out. Either they had it or he had it, or the combination possibly did overwater it. Now, bonsai trays should have excessively big, proportionately big holes in the bottom so that the excess water can go out of the plant, container and all, fairly quickly. So it is indeed possible to overwater. I have indeed done so, not with the elm, but with other things. Now then, back to the point. It sounds to me, with the yellowing of the leaves, which would indicate a possible root condition where the root cannot sustain all of the leaves that have come out. Hopefully, the ones that have yellowed have dropped. This would indicate to me that it's a natural process. The abscission layer, as it's called, that between the base of the leaf and the little stems would have formed. This is a natural process. The plant loses its overburden, so to speak, and then hopefully it has stabilized a little bit in the leaf loss. Now, what he did was, in my opinion, correct. Tip it over, pull it out, cut off the blackish, dark brownish, apparently non-growing roots. Just simply get them out of there. Then root rots are many. They're usually a fungi. They can definitely kill. However, it sounds like maybe he has stopped the process of a full kill. He'll know, within the next month. In the meantime, I hope he's putting that plant in higher light indoors, because the new leaves, even though elm is an outdoor plant, the new leaves will not have had a chance to harden off and so on. So bright windowsill, morning sun might be best, south sun's fine, or just off the edge of the actual sun pattern so that they get high light. I think he's on the way to recovering, or causing that plant to recover. When watering a bonsai, soak the daylights out of it to the point that water does run out the bottom into the tray, dump it out of the tray, etc., and so on, so that you know the plant is wet. Then I have several bonsais, several sizes of containers. By and large, I water once a week, and then by noticing how the plants respond, some I water every 10 days, some every 7. Just simply a management technique to keep them alive, keep them so that they can grow, but of course minimally, because a Chinese elm, if it's a true Chinese elm, can get a trunk on it 3 feet across, or in diameter, I should say, although it would be 60, 70 years from now, but that's not what he's after in this. So sounds like there was a problem with early growth, then a shutdown, due possibly to overwatering or maybe lack of watering for a short time, probably overwatering. And it sounds like he's done the right things. Cross your fingers, Mark. And like I say, soak well when you water it, but every week or so would be often enough.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Hauer and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com